Tuesday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode where we at 579. Going to talk about a roller coaster ride of emotions. It seems like I have a lot of drama when it comes to my big dollar finds. The Mike Trout rookie card out of a Goodwill pallet, which, by the way, Goodwill pallet number 4 was picked up yesterday. So Goodwill pallet number 1, Mike Trout rookie card. I get all kinds of people that want to buy it. We've got a sale set up. Boom, gonna make it cash money. Oh, there's a dimple because it was in a 9-pocket page next to the binder ring. Had a dimple. Wah, wah. Sale falls through. Sit on it. It was off season. We were in the middle of the lockout. It's like, oh, this is about the worst time to sell anyway. So the season gets fired up. Hey, let's put it up on eBay, and it's sold. So there was a happy ending. Well, another find for a couple $100. The Ronald Acuna. It was divisive on the blowout forums. Going through the 25 cent, but the link to the video, and it explains it all. And if you're watching this, you've probably heard the story. A couple of weeks ago at a card show, I pull out a Ronald Acuna rookie gold cup out of the 25 cent box and bought like $5 worth of quarter cards. The dealer actually flipped through. He saw every single card that was in the box, and they were in the 25 cent box, and splayed everything out. I didn't know what I had. I thought it might have been a short print, so that's why I would have pulled it out regardless because I didn't know what it was. Literally, somebody said, "I don't believe you didn't know." No, literally, I didn't know. Why would I lie about that? So I splayed everything out. I would have bought it anyway because it's a rookie gold cup Ronald Acuna. It's going to sell for minimum $1.50 shipped on eBay. So that's why I take the chance. You're like, well, it's $1.50, but I'm paying a quarter for it. And even at $1.50 shipped, my net profit's like 40 cents. So yeah, I take a little time. Well, what about your time? Well, you know what? You're taking a chance, and it ended up paying off. So, oh crap, I just spilled coffee all over me. And I thought it might be a short print. If it's short print, $10, $20 card, splayed it out, and somebody says, hey, can you see the $400 card? Last one sold for $400. Now, there were some others that were on eBay for, I think, as low as $325 list price. There was only the one sold at $400 from March, and I'm like, March off-season lockout, and there's some lesser priced. I don't think it's actually a $400 card. So I think I listed it for $355 was what I listed, and or best offer, and $250 was the minimum I was gonna take on the best offer. And I had an offer about 24 hours in, $250. I sat on it for another, it was a 24-hour offer, so I sat on it for about 23 hours just in case any other offers came in, and no other offers came in, so I accept that offer. It got paid. It was while I was out of town this weekend. I'm doing my shipping yesterday morning, and the Acuna comes up to ship. Okay, and I knew I hadn't filed it away because it was in a card saver, so I knew it was not like set away in its spot for 2019 tops. So I knew it was on top. I had a pile of cards that I had listed. Most of the 25 cent cards from that purchase were sitting on top of these boxes, and it's not there. I'm like, well, maybe I took it out of the card saver when I took the pictures, and I just didn't put it back in the card saver. So I dig through, and it's this pile here, and it's like, well, no, it's not in there now. Now all of a sudden I'm starting to get worried because there's only one more pile, and I don't think it's in that pile, and it's not. And then, oh wait, I was in the rec room and I was watching TV when I was listing some of these cards, including that Acuna. I bet I left it on the coffee table. So I go into the rec room. Coffee table's empty. Well, I did clean I had to clean before the cleaners came because yesterday was cleaner's day. I'm like, well, maybe I put it no, it's nowhere. Now the panic has set in. I'm digging around, and this is probably around noon yesterday. Can't find it anywhere. I come back in, I'm digging through the piles. Okay, I'm going to look through the 2019 pile. Do I have any other? I'm looking through this box. I'm looking through this pile. Back behind me, nowhere. So, panic. There's only one place it could be. I misshipped it. And here's what I thought happened. You know when you're typing and somebody's talking to you and they say like a name and all of a sudden the name like registers and you start typing that name? Used to happen to me. I moonlit working for a newspaper, and so we just always shoot the bull in the newspaper office, and it happened to me all the time. Fortunately, there's editors, and usually I would catch it, but my editor, he's like, this doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, that's because you were talking about something that I wrote in. So I thought that happened while I was shipping. I thought that it was probably top of mind on Friday, and I may have grabbed it with another card that I listed at the same time. So then I went into my eBay. I mean, this took up a good chunk of my day. It's a good thing it was a $250 card, not a $10 card. So I'm going through my eBay, like, what did I sell from what would have come from that pile that it would have been next to? And I'm going through the sales. I actually opened up some envelopes, a pile that I had started shipping on Sunday. And I'm like, I don't think, because I think they might have paid right before I left on Friday. So maybe it was something on Friday, but then it's like, I looked and it's like, no, I was done when it was paid for. I was done shipping for the day because I was getting ready to leave town. Now I'm like, where in the heck did it go? So that's, I actually thought I probably maybe shipped it. Maybe I did ship it. So I eat lunch. I go to Goodwill. I pick up my Goodwill palette, which I'm going to share some details here later on. Hey, how often do I actually share the title story with at the beginning of the show? This is new territory. Is Bo's audio choppy? I hope not. And I don't think this is working today. So it's probably my laptop audio, because yesterday I think this was working. It's hit or miss, because for some reason YouTube, I'm gonna get it. Let me finish my story and then I'm gonna talk about my audio. John, you can probably help me out with my YouTube audio issue. So I go to Goodwill. I'm going to talk about the Goodwill palette as well. And I'm like, the whole drive, I'm thinking, where could this be? Who did I send it to? I'm just like, it's ruining my Goodwill trip to pick up my palette of cards. Okay, it's not choppy on Jenny or Ed's end. Good deal. But I still do have an audio question for John. So I drive home. I unload a couple of the boxes and dig through. Found some good stuff, and I'll share what I found. It's probably like 6 hours now, because I don't think I found this until maybe it was 5 hours, 6. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going through, and it's like still it's eating at me. It's eating at me, and I just wanted, like, it's that unknown. I want to know. Excuse me. I want to know the answer. If I did misship it, I want to know. If I have it somewhere, I want to know. So it's just eating at me. So I come into my card room again. I start over on this table just to make sure I went through every pile. It's not there. Talking about the card I sold for $250 and I can't find it. So right next to me over here, there's just kind of a bunch of Cubs that are just kind of random. I don't know where they came from. I need to put them in a box, but there's a stack of Cubs. Some are Heritage Miners, I think, that I opened a box recently. And so I'm like, just guess what? There it is. I'd show it off, but I made sure to ship it right away. So this didn't happen again. There it is. It was kind of underneath a couple Cubs cards right on this very table that this microphone is sitting on. So what I think happened was before I left, this is what I think happened. Before I left town on Friday, the pile of cards that I had listed with that Acuna at some point last week were on my coffee table. I brought in the pile, but I think I left because the pile of cards were on like a table next to my couch. But I think the Acuna I left in that card saver on the coffee table. So when I was getting stuff to, when I was getting ready to leave, I think I grabbed it and just like I'm in a hurry, and I think I put it at the end of the table, like, oh, I'll find it, and then maybe cards got splashed over it, but I found it. It's now safely in a bubble mailer on its about to be on its way when I drop it off at the post office. But it does have to go through it was a $250 sale, so it does have to go to the authenticity. And here's the weird thing about eBay's authenticity guarantee. Remember that Ellie De La Cruz yellow refractor auto that I pulled from Bowman out of a blaster box? It sold for $1,300. It did not go to the authenticity pro. It went straight to the buyer. I don't get it. It was a $1,300, like no offer, anything like that. List price. And it just went straight to the buyer. This is a $250 card, and it's going to the authenticity place. And then they send it to the buyer. Really weird. I don't get it. I'm going to get to the chat now. So that's the story of how I almost lost a $250 card. Who's just joining saying, oh, Bo doesn't talk about the main story until 45 minutes in. Changing it up today. Low Roller Scratcher, he was the first in the chat. I don't understand his initial comment. You were 14 minutes late. Jenny says, LOL, it doesn't start for 4 minutes. John is with us. Good morning, that 70s Card Show. Audio question coming up for you. Victor, good morning. Let's see how much you pay for the Goodwill pallet yesterday. About $450. Good morning. I'm here only for a short while. We're glad to have you. And we are having another exciting garden chat. No garden chat today because I didn't do anything in the garden yesterday, and I'll probably get my tomatoes later this week. The truck for the nursery doesn't come in until tomorrow. So either Wednesday or Thursday, I'll pick up the tomatoes and get those in the ground. But speaking of gardens, a little garden chat. So I hate rabbits in my garden and in my flower garden as well, because they eat the stuff. But I like bunnies. They're, cute little wildlife creatures. And we didn't have many bunnies in our neighborhood because it's like all new housing. It's like all new subdivisions. So it basically all the new house builds in this area pushed all the bunny rabbits away and the squirrels. We don't have too many squirrels around here though. Anyway, so the first couple of years living here, it's like, hey, bunny free. But over the last couple of years now, all the all the houses are up. There's no new construction. So now the bunnies are coming in, and now it's like, ooh, hey, there's a buffet in every yard. And they found my buffet. They stay out of my vegetable garden, but I plant marigolds, around the perimeter, so that keeps them away. But they do love the flower garden, so we have to shoo them every once in a while. It's funny to see my wife walk outside and shoo, chase the bunnies out of her flower garden. But I was watching. The reason I talk about bunnies is because I was getting my coffee ready. I looked out the back window, and there's that bunny. I'm like, that damn bunny. Because I have lettuce. You know how rabbits love their lettuce. So I'm a little concerned, but I've got marigolds next to them. So hopefully that keeps them away. Anyway, I never really seen rabbits eat non-garden flowers and stuff until this morning. And I think they're dandelions, the fluff balls, the fluff balls. But before they turn into dandelions, I think that's what they are. They have those long stalks. And they love those things. So this bunny was in my backyard, and I watched him eat like 5 of them. And I'm like, that's good. Eat the dandelions. Don't eat my freaking flowers. Don't eat my lettuce. Eat those damn dandelions. But it was fun. So that's my garden talk for this morning. Card hobbyist, good morning to you. Herman's with us. Don't Keating your cards. Soppy Cups Bow, great hack. Sippy Cups, there you go. Dan is with us. What is up, Dan? Sorry for the typos in the gym. Good morning to David. Dak T-Mac is with us. Jenny says, I think the wall of cards behind Bo has gotten taller overnight. Not quite. No new boxes here because I haven't brought any. The Goodwill boxes are still out in the rec room as I'm still diving through, and then they'll actually go in the storage area. The bulk will go in the storage area because the commons and stuff, I'll sell those in bulk. Let's see. David D. Pyers is with us. Good morning to you. Zach, what is up? George, good morning. Where are we at here? George. Jenny, I think you found it about 4:45. Yes, Jenny and I were chatting, and when I found it, it's like, oh my God, guess what happened? Medium rare cards, good morning to you. Diego, what is up? I almost didn't recognize. Diego has a new avatar, new photo. Let's see. Low Roller says, I hope $250 card. It's not fake. Pray for you. I doubt it's fake. It's an opening day rally time card. Let's see. The card Hobbyist says, my garden has suffered majorly with a 3-week drought. Ooh, that blows. That does suck. I've never seen a fake opening day Topps card ever. Ribeyes of the garden, bunnies. There you go. If anyone is in the Madison area, please put a ton of fake bunnies all over Bo's yard in the middle of the night. The Falsey, rabbits hate Tabasco sauce. Okay. Victor, good morning, the rookie card specialist. Good morning to you. Put Upper Deck hockey blasters in your garden, keeps everything away. Ethernet wasn't cooperating, says Dan. So, John, I have a question. So, for some reason, when I go live, once I open up the live window when I hit go live and then I type in all the stuff in YouTube, if I plug in my microphone after that, it doesn't recognize it, no matter what I do. So I have to I have to plug the microphone in before I even open YouTube. And I don't know if there's a way around that. So that's why sometimes this microphone works. Today it's just a prop because I didn't plug it in time. So I'm not sure why that is. So probably 90% or more of these videos, this microphone, I didn't start realizing it until about a week or two ago. It's like, oh, I think it was when I sneezed and I hit the mute button. And John said, your mute didn't work. And I'm like, oh, that's because the microphone's not even on. It's my laptop audio that it's using. Let's see. Michael, good morning to you. John says you need to plug mic in prior to browser opening. Okay, so needs to be discovered by the app. So there's no worker. So once I just need to remember, I need to make that a routine. Just plug the damn microphone in before I open the computer or open the link. So, okay. I'll just need to, now that it's more top of mind, every day, and I catch it someday, over the last week, I've caught it a couple times. But sometimes I just get going. It's like, oh, I need to open this window, boom, boom, boom. And then, oh crap, I forgot the microphone. By that time, I've already typed out the entire description and I don't want to back out of it. So it's it's just going to be a fake microphone prop today. Let's see. You open new Goodwill pallets. What is the best cards you found so far? We're going to talk about that. Might still need to manually select, but that might do it. Yeah. When I've gone through the microphone settings, it doesn't even populate even now. And I need to be careful, but I think I tried it once I was actually live and it didn't show as a microphone. Even mic's on, everything. George says, I leave my mic on 24/7. Love for the people listening to hear my middle of the night farts. So here's why I don't leave it plugged in, because, and this is probably a setting John can probably answer. So if I leave this microphone plugged in, it it kills my speakers. So once I end this video and say I open up YouTube and I didn't listen to Ken last night. So Ken, I apologize. It was ended up having a late dinner, so I was just behind. I didn't even get down to the basement until 8. Where was I going with that? Oh, so I'll close this out, and if I go open up a new YouTube and go to Ken's video, it's just muted until I unplug the microphone, and then I can hear the audio. So I don't know why that is. I I even working in radio for 13, 14 years, when it comes to audio stuff, it's like I just want plug and play. If it doesn't work, it's like, hey, help. Cooter, what is up? Good morning, Cooter. Chrome. Yes, I'm using the Chrome browser. Zach, I know what Low Roller Scratcher is talking about. Bo, when you put your teaser time up on YouTube, it is defaulting to the time you post on the time you start. So that means at times I've seen it say 6:47. Okay, gotcha. So when I hit go live or whatever, and it was 6 whatever, gotcha. Um, and I probably don't set the time to start. I just hit go. I got it. Now I understand now. Let's see. Medium Rare says you need to choose output on the computer. Let's see. Jenny says I need to rewatch Kin today too. Nights in the summer in the Midwest are just too difficult for me to get inside. Too much to do. I was inside. Well, and my wife was running behind. She had a late appointment, so we didn't sit down to dinner until almost 7. So by the time finished up and cleaned, it was like 7:45, I think, when I got back downstairs. It's trying to use the headphone on the mic. Okay, so there's probably an audio setting that I need to adjust. Gotcha. Yeah, so there's no set reminder on Bo's live videos. Okay, I'll have to look into that too. I'm learning all kinds of stuff today. Speaking of mics and headphones, I heard a story: a teenager lost his hearing. I heard that. I saw that headline. Has hearing loss because of an Amber Alert wearing his earbuds or AirPods. They are loud. Like, it'll scare the crap. You're on the couch just watching something on Netflix, which, by the way, we started watching before I get into that. And then all of a sudden the Amber Alert goes off and it's like, holy. We started watching Love on the Spectrum, which we watched that show. I think it started in Australia, and the first season was Australia. And it's like, Australia is a place that I really have no interest in going. I mean, they have like snakes and spiders that are like out of this world, like horror movie stuff. Like, that doesn't, leave that all down there. I don't want to go to Australia. And it's like 24 hours to fly there. Like, screw that. I hate 3-hour flights. So I have no interest in going to Australia for those reasons. But I don't understand. I've never been there. It's a different culture. So you can't really relate to, like, they're going on dates and all that. So it's hard to relate to it. So I'm like, it'd be cool if they did a US version, and they did. And it just came out. I think last week it was released on Netflix. We've watched like 3 episodes already. And it's my wife even made the comment last night. She's like, I kind of like the Australia version better. And I think, and I don't know if it's the people on the show or what, the characters. I mean, I guess it's real people, but the characters on the television show. But it is fun. There's funny points, and then there's points where it's like you feel bad because it's some awkward situations. But it is a good show. It's called Love on the Spectrum. It's basically a dating show for people on the autism spectrum. And at some points, I also think it's almost like taking advantage of their autism. But it's like, I guess if they signed up, I don't know. I guess it's one of those things where we enjoy watching it. I'll just leave it at that. We enjoy watching it. Let's see. Where am I at on the chat here? DR. Oh wait, George. Let's see. George says my camera saga continues. Dude Dunn sent me a tracking number that isn't recognized. Oh man. Dun dun dun. DR says, I know historically you say you're going to stick to eBay, but what, if anything, would make you reconsider and try to sell on a second platform? Gosh, I don't know. I mean, if eBay fees went from 12 to 25%, or it would take like it would take a lot. It would take a lot because say traffic's down on eBay. We all complain traffic's down on eBay or sales are down on eBay. Well, what do you think the other sites are? The other sites aren't thriving as eBay. If eBay's, it's kind of like in the crypto world when Bitcoin jumps, it affects the altcoins. When Bitcoin drops, typically it affects the altcoins and they also drop. And I think you're going to see similarities with card sale platforms. eBay's the top dog. Bitcoin's the top dog in crypto. eBay's the top dog on card selling platforms. So if eBay struggles, if they're struggling on eBay, if you're struggling on sales on eBay, you're going to be struggling elsewhere because it's just, it all goes downstream. So I am going to stick to eBay. And, outside forces are really the only thing that would make me consider selling on a secondary platform. And it also it's not just, if something is a threat on eBay, if they double the, I don't know, if they make up rules that, don't favor low dollar sellers like myself, some outside forces like that. Plus the second platform that I would go to would have to do something. I mean, it would have to be like eBay would have to do something that would affect me from being here to here. And then the other platforms would have to do something that they're currently here and they would have to go up here. ComC, I talk and I talk and I talk about, I just drag my feet. I'm not going to do it. I've decided not to do a second platform. Yes, I know all the benefits of ComC, but at this point in time, I'm not going to do it. Why? Because that upfront cost. And I understand business-wise why there's that upfront cost, but it's not beneficial to me to use that platform with those upfront costs. So that's kind of my answer. There's really, it's outside threats beyond my control. And there would also have to be something. A secondary platform would have to come along with a massive audience and benefits beyond what eBay offers. So I guess that's kind of an answer. Let's see. Rascal 30. I've bought from Goodwill auctions online the past few years. This past year, I've basically given up. Any superstar raw card is shown in. A lot of people bid it up like it's a PSA 9 or 10. I have noticed some of those. It's like, what? Who's bidding on this? Can I like submit my cards to Goodwill auctions, like take a percent? Like, can I consign with Goodwill auctions because you're getting all this crazy money? That's what Rascal says. I just wish I could sell to those customers. I know, it's like you see these and it's like, is this artificial? What's going on here? Because I'll sell you all my cards and just, if you can make that kind of money on them, good for you. John said, I lost my hearing on the 1991 Tom Petty tour. Was that Free Fallin' or was Free Fallin' 89? What album came out? Was there an album that came out in 91 by Petty? I love Petty. Tom Petty's probably on my personal Mount Rushmore of favorite catalogs because I love like basically all of Tom Petty's stuff. Pearl Jam is like number one. Petty's probably, right up. That would be who's my Mount Rushmore of favorite bands or musical acts. And this is all encompassing. Like I can do a push play walk away on their entire catalog. Petty's one of them. Pearl Jam's number one. Petty's probably number two. Who else is up? Because some I get sick of. It's like Metallica. Like I like some Metallica, but then I get sick of it. But Pearl Jam, Petty, those are two acts that I can like. Anytime it comes on the radio, I'm cranking it up. Especially Petty. Petty has the best cruising songs. I mean, Free Fall, and that's probably because of Jerry Maguire. Like I think of Free Fallin', I think of Jerry Maguire driving down the interstate, jamming out. And as I do that, it's like Genesis / Phil Collins. There's a lot of stuff. But man, beyond Pearl Jam and Petty, I don't know who else I would put on my personal Mount Rushmore of favorite bands or musical acts. Low Roller says you can turn off Amber Alerts in your settings. George, stop buying cameras from backyard developers. Buyer beware. I'm going to go open a bento box on his ass in Japan. Oh, and I got blocked last night for saying people that get their PayPals locked permanent for friends and family are dodging taxes. LOL. Trash took itself out. Yeah, be very careful. I take all my money out, and very rarely do I sell something on PayPal and accept PayPal. Like everything goes through eBay. Um, the only time I get like PayPal funds, sometimes my dealers at the card show will send me PayPal. But that would, as soon as I get money in my PayPal account, it goes into my bank like right away, just because I don't want it sitting for any reason at all. Low Roller says, unless eBay suspended your account, eBay's not going to suspend my account. Sales are down all over, shows even too. I look forward to hearing about Madison on Sunday. So the Madison card show is this Saturday at the Sheraton Hotel, where on John Nolan Drive, 9 to 3 free admission, 135 tables. I said yesterday I was oversold. I took a cancel, so now I'm even. I'm sold out, and I do have a waiting list. I have a couple people on the waiting list, so I'm going to actually be a little more proactive this week and reach out to especially people that have not set up in the past, just to confirm, and just in case I don't get any surprises like last month. So I'm going to do some follow-ups this week to make sure. I've got maps printed out. Thank you to my wife. She printed out 300 of the maps, so it has the layout because we're split up. It's 3 different rooms on 2 floors. So I want to make sure people that walk in know, hey, there's upstairs, there's downstairs. Boom, spread out. So we got that. We've got giveaways. I'm giving away a couple of my Bowman mega boxes from last year's release. We're giving away a PSA SGC submission thanks to one of my dealers. 5-star cards. So thanks to Matt from 5-star. Tom Alicia wrote a book. I didn't bring it down. Beauty at Short. Story of Dave Bancroft. Going to give away a couple of those. And maybe something else I'll dig up here in the next couple days. So there will be registration boxes set up in each of the 3 rooms. This Saturday, Madison Card Show, John Nolan Drive, right across the street from Bratfest, which is always a great time. Cliff, in the first summer where everyone is free, been a couple years, it will pick back up. Let's see. Dan says Low Roller is just looking out for Bo. Michael says, where did Michael say? What did Michael say? Crap, where are we at? Michael says, I hate the upfront comp seat cost. They nickel and dime you. Zach says Bo has stuck with the Cubs during years of pain. He ain't leaving eBay. Jenny says True Cliff and the price of gas is having a domino effect. I predict in the fall the gas price will drop back to normal. DR says I was more thinking what it would take for you to add a second platform and try to sell player lots or team lots or things you pull from your Goodwill palette on Twitter. An assistant. That's what it would take. It would take an assistant, but I have to make enough money to pay the assistant. So it's kind of like, where do you go? So I've just got to grind in the time. But that's not, maybe year 2, and it is something. Here we are in May. It's been, how many months now? 8 months, 7 months. I will start thinking about year 2 strategies here in the next couple months, because year 1, I'm not doing anything different. No major changes, not adding a second platform, not doing anything different, not venturing into high end stuff for, it's doing what I do best, digging through bargain boxes, buying small collections, buying Goodwill pallets, which wasn't a strategy when I started this, but it's become a monthly thing. So first year, no major changes, and then it's assessment time come October. And I thought, if my projections worked out, year two, maybe it's looking into hiring an assistant, possibly renting office space, but it's just it's not there. The sales are not quite the sell through rate's not there. It's 0.61% is my sell through rate right now. My snapshot this morning, so just not there. My projections were 1%, so just not going to make that work. Now, does that mean it hasn't been a successful first year? No, not at all. But just falling a little shy of projections, and I'll have a better idea, in the next few months how things will land. Michael says gas always goes up in the summer. Definitely as we enter Memorial Day weekend. That 70s car show, Learning to Fly. Oh, great song. Medium Rare says DMB. That was actually somebody I thought of on my personal Mount Rushmore. I'm in the concert video. If you look into the great wide open, love it. So let's get to the point. Let's roll another joint. Jenny says, true, Michael, here we haven't seen it this high since 2008. Victor also throws in Tom Petty and Dave Matthews. Let's see. Herman says Eagles and Skinnerd. Michael says, Jenny, look for gas to hit $5. It's already hit $5 in Illinois. We're at around, what did I see yesterday? I think it's like $4.25 here. And it's usually about 75 cents more in Illinois with their gas tax. Victor's in Chicago. Victor, what are gas prices where you are? I think they're around $4.25 here in Madison, and typically it's 50 to 75 cents more in Illinois. Jenny says, if those on the waiting list are local, tell them to come on down with their stuff and they'll likely get a table morning of. Yes, I did do that. One is not local. One's from, I think, the Iowa City area. So it is a long drive for them. One is local, though. They're fairly semi-local. Let's see. DR says, the reason I asked was sometimes I post a cool card on Twitter and then people ask if they can buy it, but I don't use Twitter for selling. But then I wonder if I'm missing an opportunity or not. That's a great point, because that happens to me all the time. And how I've adjusted on the fly, I used to, when I would dig through boxes, when I was like sorting for, team sorts, and this is back when I was trading, I would pull like a random, like a Bob Hamlin where he's like holding the sign, and I wasn't going to sell it. I wasn't going to, put it aside. So it just went back in the box, and I tweet that picture out. And then like an hour later to have 3 people like, hey, are you selling that or trading that card? It's like, well, it's back in a box. So then I realized there's a market for all these quirky cards that I post pictures of. And it seems like when you're not trying to sell something on Twitter, people want it. Like these like Bob Hamlin or Gumstain cards or miscuts. Like, oh, it's like these oddball collectors come out of the woodwork. And so I started, and this is a couple years ago, I started to, anytime I post one of these random strange cards, it's like I posted it on Twitter. It's probably at least one person's going to slide into my DMs or reply to the tweet saying, hey, I want that card. And it seemed like 70% of the time that's what happened. So now when I post these cards, and it's like I'm going to get all these people, and I stick everything in eBay because everything is tracked. And I know people say, well, there's 12% fees and all that crap. Well, it's easy for me because I can track everything and just print out a sheet and give it to my accountant. And I don't have to deal with that crap. That's why I pay him. He gets to deal with all that crap. And yes, it's worth the money. So that's how I handle it. Everybody handles it. I mean, there's stack sellers on Twitter that do well and all that. It's just not for me. So what I would do, and here's what I do. So now when I post these quirky things, I'll like list it. If I'm getting ready, say I find the Bob Hamlin card, it's like, okay, I'm going to post this on Twitter. People are probably going to want it because I posted it on Twitter. I'm just going to put it in my eBay store. It's going to be $1.50 free shipping. And when I post it on Twitter and people like want it, I'm like, it's in my eBay store, $1.50 free shipping. So that's how I handle it. I usually list it first and then tweet it. And then if somebody wants it, you just send them the link to the eBay listing. So that's how I handle it now, because yes, I've had that. I ran into that very thing a few years ago, and it was like every time, and it was the most random stuff that it's like, oh, this will never, you never thought somebody would want this particular item, and sure enough, there's a market for it. As we know on eBay, everything sells on eBay. That's something else I want to start doing. I want to start sharing my last 10 sales without cherry picking. So I'm going to do that before I go. I'm going to write down, I think I did write some stuff down. Last 10 eBay. Oh, because I'm going to get to the Goodwill stuff. So I did write something down about that. So I'm going to finish up the where are we at in the chat, and then I'll talk about the Goodwill. Michael says, I work in the convenience store business, so I track gas quite closely. I've sold on Twitter before. I wouldn't worry about it. If you wanted to stick to eBay, just send them the link. Yep, exactly. 608, any news about a Madison card show trade night? Nothing yet. So there is a trade night this Saturday. It's not in Madison, it's in Janesville. So there's a big Janesville card show on Sunday, this coming Sunday, at I think it's the Holiday Inn. And there's a trade night on Saturday night in Janesville. So hit up the Madison card show on Saturday. After the show, go across the street, have a brat and a beer at Bratfest, and then head down to Janesville and hit up trade night on Saturday night. But in the future, it's very possible. I have actually been in talks with a couple people who host trade nights. I've never done a trade night. I don't know the first thing. That's why I've never had one in Madison at the Madison card show. But I had somebody reach out to me last month who set up, and he's like, "Hey, I do these trade nights all the time. I'll sponsor it." I'm like, "If you run it, I'm all for it. I'll just promote it as part of the show." But I don't know the first thing about trade nights, so it would definitely be a partnership opportunity. And then I talked to the Jason, who's hosting trade night on Saturday night in Janesville. I met him up at the Green Bay card show, and we talked, and he's like, yeah, if you want to do a trade night, let me know. So it's definitely something under consideration. Let's see, where are we at here? Cooter says, if you missed Queensryche at Bratfest, they are playing here on June 4th, the same day as the OKC card show. I had to laugh when I saw that. Queensryche is just, maybe they're collectors that we don't know. Maybe the members of Queensryche are just traveling the nation surrounding card shows. It's like, hey, Bratfest is the same weekend as the Madison card show. June 4th, the OKC card show. Let's play at Oklahoma. Let's see. Jenny says, good thing Bo working from home, saving gas money. Oh, wait, he's chasing pallets. Yeah, fortunately, I didn't have to drive too far. Let's see. Victor says it's over $5. So it has surpassed $5 in Chicago. Lance is in Peoria, and it's creeping ever so closely. $4.89 in Peoria. So, wow. Let's see. George says, don't nobody want no ugly ass bent up vintage card. Right. Let's see. Quick, everyone run to Bo's shop and buy the oddest 10 cards. Queensryche also playing Happy Joe's in Cedar Rapids next Tuesday. I think that's so. When John says that, since it's coming from John, it's like, okay, that's sarcasm, but it's Queensryche, and it could be true. It's like, I think he's just joking, but it could be true. I could see Queensryche playing the Happy Joes in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Let's see. Jenny says, smart man about trade night, not getting into what you don't know. Victor says, trade night, no one will want to trade for my raw 80s cards. Yeah, it's not my thing. I'm a bargain box guy, so trade nights aren't really catered to the bargain box people like me. And that's why I don't have interest in slapping slabs on the table. That sounds dirty. Slapping slabs on the table. 45 live viewers. Holy cow. Hit the like button, please. How about that? Let's see. Jenny said you'd be surprised about them 80s cards. They do sell. Is a trade night viable for a one-day show? Seems the hotel would want more money. So here's the thing. And that's a great point, because I didn't think it would be successful. 47. Yes. 45 is a new high. 47. Can we hit 50 live viewers? Holy moly. We've never had 47 before. We lost 2 people. We're back down to 45. Slab slapping Q70's funk riff. George says, John, you ever do anything at Memphis in May? That used to be my jam. It was my yearly, and I won't say that. Let's see. Medium rare cards. Yes, trade night is a completely different vibe. So where was I at? What was I talking about? John's comment. John comment about trade nights being viable for a one-day show. And I didn't think trade nights would be viable. And that's why I never really thought about it. But as the crowds, we've seen crowds uptick. Despite the market seemingly being down, the crowds have been steadily increasing, especially at the Madison show. So I think there's interest in what really drew me to that was the was it the April? Yeah, it was the April show. It was the last show. Herman was there. And that's when one of the dealers said, "Hey, I host, trade nights. I think there's enough action here that it would be viable." And Herman and I went down and hung out with Zach and Porter, had a late lunch, early dinner, and went back upstairs. It's like 2 hours after the show ends, and there's still like 8 people in the room trading and doing stuff. It's like, okay, I think it is viable here. So when I presented the proposal to the venue, to the Sheraton, here's how I didn't want a room. Because they could hook me for, okay, well, you want here, this room's going to cost an additional whatever. So here's how I said we can do it in the lobby, and we'll order food and people be drinking. Is that cool with you? And of course they see dollar signs because now they're generating bar business and selling alcohol, selling food because they do offer food. It's like whoever sponsors it, hey, buy a bunch of wings or whatever, is their specialty in the bar area. And, finger foods, appetizers, stuff like that. And voila. So, John, great point. Is it viable for a one-day show? In some cases, yes. I think in the case of the Madison card show, there's enough action that it is viable. It's a nice venue. With food and drinks, because I know some guys, they'll want to pound some beers. They want to slap slabs and pound beers. So I think it is viable at our venue. Let's see. Slab slapping. Okay, we slab slapping cue the 70s. Let's see. Medium rare says trade night, a completely different vibe. Trade night, you can sell cards only without trading at all. Yeah, you can do it. It's not just trading, and I think that's kind of like misconception among people not familiar. You can trade, you can buy, you can sell. It's whatever you want. I know. I was talking to somebody in Green Bay this past weekend. They made over $3,000 selling cards at trade night. How cool! No table fee. Can't beat that. Let's see. Jenny, I have tons of cards. DM me if you need some. Zach asks, how many are bots? The 3 guys from Queensryche just left the chat. Zach says, what is QR? Has a massive fake slab operation going. They are the ones infiltrating the hobby, none the wiser. Let's see. Medium rare says, find a local card shop close to the show and host it there. That is not viable. We only have one here in Madison. We only have one shop, and it's not viable for a trade night. Let's see. Herman says, tweeted get Bo over 50. We keep dropping like flies. The bots are going. Queensryche's gone. People drinking and doing it in the lobby. What kind of hotel are you holding this swingers event at? Let's see. The Lieb got wedding at 6 p.m. might blow your plan. You should do first trade night week of National. Bet lots would come. Can't afford the National. That's a pretty good idea. Maybe in June we'll give it a trial run in June. Check it out. I have a better idea because Jason, who's hosting the Saturday night trade event in Janesville, I'll talk with him. Maybe we'll do something. I don't know. Let's see. Low Roller says, do you need to pay anything on trade night? I think that varies by venue. I'm trying to avoid that by dangling that carrot at the venue, saying we'll host it in the lobby for free, and in turn we're going to give you bar business. So that's kind of the caveat. Need to make one of your shows. Trying to make a weekend of it with my wife. We're down by Brookfield Zoo. Need to pick your brain on do's and don'ts on setting up a small show. Definitely come on out. Madison, this is about the perfect time to head to Madison because it's now green. It's warming up. May, June, July, August, September, all great months to visit Madison, Wisconsin. It's a beautiful city. And the show is actually like near downtown. It's a mile and a half, 2 miles from downtown, right on the lakes. So yeah, definitely come out. And if you like brats, Brat Fest is this weekend. So if you can make it Saturday, you've got live music and all the brats you would more brats than you could think of across the street. Let's see. Would you consider doing trade night experience by selling your quarter box? See what happened. Possibly. I wouldn't. I don't know if the people coming to the show, And here's the thing about card shows, though. When you start thinking, okay, I know this is going to sell, it's not. And when you start thinking, I'm not going to bring this because it won't sell, like one of the last Madison shows, I had a table at my own show. I put my quarter boxes, like these have been cherry picked for months and months and months. I'm not even going to waste the time. And I had my best sales out of these quarter boxes that had been, dug through for months. So I say that, and it's like somebody probably will be there that wants to buy. Let's see. Jenny says, how about a StreamYard digital trade night week of National? That would be fun with the group. That would be, and I know that I know there's probably going to be other YouTube type events that do similar things because there's a huge section of the hobby that's not going to be going to the National that doesn't do the National. So let's see. Michael says trade night doesn't fit my biz either. LCS runs it on Thursday, which is impossible to get to on a school night. George asks when the National is. I may be down for some digital trades. Can bring the cards with me in my carry-on for my summer trip home. George, I didn't realize that you were coming back this summer. The National is the end of July. What is it? July 25th. Let's see. The National, it's the I think it's July 25th through the 31st because I keep looking at the dates. July 27th is the Wednesday. So it's July 27th through the 31st is the National in Atlantic City. Let's see. Herman says, you really making me I had waited till this month to come up with Brat Talk Bo. Herman, you should host your hobby roundtable during the National. We should just make our own experience this year. Majority can't afford to go, but have the time set aside. John says, we don't want to trade each other. Everyone here just wants to sell. So where was I? Oh, the Goodwill palette. I have not talked about that. So the Goodwill palette, picked it up yesterday. Palette number 4, low roller. There you go. Reading my brain. Palette number 4, went and picked it up, and I always kind of, and I did a little snippet, a 60-second video that's up on my channel as I unloaded from the Gaylord and moved it into my car. And usually when I go through these palettes, I'll kind of, if it's a binder, I'll open it up just to see, oh, it's just 91 Upper Deck, or, oh, I see some 2011 tops. What's going to be in this binder? Just to kind of give me a feel of what's in there. The top was like sprinkled with, you could tell they were staging it for photos. There was some vintage, there were some old Hostess cards. I think there was a Tom Seaver Hostess card. It's been like Tom Seaver week. I bought a 73 Topps Tom Seaver out of the 25-cent box at the show last Saturday. And let's see what else. So the first box I brought in yesterday, I dug through it. A bunch of wrestling cards, which I don't normally get wrestling cards out of these Goodwill boxes, pallets. So there's a whole row of WCW cards from Impel 1991. There were about 8 or 9 chrome 99 chrome WWE cards, including The Rock, which is a $10 to $20 card. The Undertaker was in there. There were some XFL cheerleader cards, which, there was some just random stuff. I wish I would have done a video on this particular box because it was kind of like a smaller version of that collection that I did a video on last week, the $300 collection I bought, because it was just like, it was an ADD person's a dream of all the different stuff. There was a pile of Sports Illustrated for kids cards, none of the like the big ones, no Mia Hamm or Tiger Woods or Michael Phelps, but just a bunch of random stuff. So just a lot of fun stuff, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of oddball. So that was in one box. Then there was a bag. There was like a clear garbage bag, one of those clear garbage bags, and it had like a bunch of new, like 2022. There's a small pile of home run challenge cards, unscratched even. And I'm going through, there's a Houdini cheap fun breaks card in there. And I'm like, oh wow. So I tweeted that out. Somebody DM'd me and they're like, I think those are the cards I donated to Goodwill. He's like, I'm pretty sure that's my Houdini card. I'm like, no way. So the funny thing is, it checks out because I'm like, where do you live? And he's like, I live in the Madison, Verona area. And I'm like, so that adds up. So his name matches the name on one of there's like a couple slips, a couple post-it notes, like he was in breaks, cheap fun breaks, blowout. And it has like his first name, like 101. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it is you because there's a post-it note with what I believe is your blowout username. And so I shared what it was. And he's like, yes. He's like, I always wondered if I would run into the cards I donated in a Goodwill store. And and that's what's cool about social media. How random is that? Like seeing dropping your cards off at Goodwill and then somebody that buys them tweets them out and finds them. And it's kind of like it goes along a couple weeks ago when I was at the Rockford show. I met the Tony Graffinito collector. And I was doing, I must have been watching too much Criminal Minds, doing that whole behavioral analysis. Like, they seem like guys that are just back in the hobby that probably aren't in hobby Twitter or watching YouTube videos. I was way wrong because they are on YouTube because they commented. I think his name's Tim, commented, and then they are on Twitter. Full Count Cards is one of the usernames. So totally missed the mark on those guys. So it's just funny. You meet these people either at a card show or you buy their cards from Goodwill. You tweet about it, and you find them. So cool stuff. So that's kind of the update. I've just gone through a couple boxes. A couple of it's just like random stuff. But I think based on digging through it yesterday as I was loading it into my car, I think it's going to be a better palette than the last one. The last one kind of sucked. Now, I made my money back. I broke even and made a little small profit. And of course, I've still got cards to sell. But not as, there were no big hitters like the Trout, like the Marvel Rare Promo in that third pack palette. But I think there's going to be enough in this fourth palette. It'll make it better than the third palette. So I'm going to get back to the chat, and then I want to share, because I want to do this on a daily basis. I want to share the last 10 sales on eBay without cherry picking, because in the past I've picked out like, here's the random cards I've sold in the last 24 hours. But if I do the last 10, it kind of gives you a better feel for what's moving on eBay. Now, with that said, my eBay sales are trickling down, and I think the best way to track how your actual sales are doing, because it does seem it's very anecdotal. And I'm guilty. Like, my sales are down, and I look at my analytics, and they're not down. The numbers will tell you, will paint the picture. But what I do look at, and I track it on a daily basis, I take that snapshot, is your sell-through rate. And you can't really get a good idea unless you're tracking it on a daily basis. Or even, I guess, to an extent, a weekly basis, because it's going to vary. If you add 500 cards this week, it's going to affect your percentage. So it gives you, and I can look at it going all the way back to when I started daily tracking in December. It fluctuates, and I think right now I'm closing in on some of the lowest sell-through rates that I've seen, and I'm at 0.61%. So that does kind of paint a picture of, okay, sales are a little down, especially, compared to, March and February. I'm going to go back to the chat before we get to those eBay sales. George says, I'll probably be home right around the time then. Haven't seen the family in 3 years thanks to the COVID, not the video. The positive out of that, George, is it really makes us appreciate our time with family now. Definitely. Michael says the junk wrestling stuff is selling. Man, wrestling just sells. And I'm talking low end, and you're not going to get rich off it, but $1.50 sales, wrestling moves. I just sold, I had a buyer buy like 40 cards last week, and like 20 of them were those 91 WCW cards, like Terry Taylor and Sid Vicious and the Fabulous Freebirds. And take 15, 20 of those times $1.50, it really adds up. George says, if it's those early 80s wrestling all-stars, you got gold. Unfortunately, it's not. Those are gold. They're 91 WCW. There is some 99 chrome that, a few bucks each. The Rock's going to sell for a little more. But it's the junky stuff. But the junky stuff still does sell. And the junky stuff's kind of my niche. John says, I searched the Beckett OPG last night with the hope that there was an Allen and Ginter John Noman card. Would have been the greatest rack ever. What has become of my life? Some of the junk classic WWF stuff has some of the key rookies now. Let's see, where are we at here? I need a junkyard dog. Jenny says, at the rate you're finding the newer cards in Goodwill pallets, you need to put up an ad on Craigslist about cards. Say, hey, I'll buy bulk at a cheap rate. If you're donating, I'll put $10. That's actually a really good idea. That 70s card show. This is why we need to go back to putting our initials on the backs of cards. Robert Lanham, good morning to you. 1 week till retirement. Hey, congratulations. This is the last week in I'm not close to retiring age, but from like when I put my notice in at work, and it's kind of like the last week of school. It's just anything go. What are you going to do? Fire me? I'm going to retire next week. I'm going to quit. My last day on the job's next week. That's got to be a great feeling, because I know it was a great feeling for me when I put my notice in to go into cards full time, not only because I was excited about selling cards full time, but because I was leaving a job that I really disliked. And I didn't have to, next week, I don't have to go into the office. So I bet that's an awesome feeling. Enjoy. David, later everyone, 9 a.m. in-person meeting. David, thanks for jumping on. Bo is going to pull a Jordan rookie in pallet 7. This pallet, he's going to find a Jeter SP rookie. Hopefully you're right. Mark, good morning to you. Let's see. Card Hobby says baseball sales probably tend to slow down as the season gets into the dog days. And that was not the case last year. My best month in sales was June. June was my best month in sales in 2021, surpassing I think the hobby peaked in February, March, but I actually had my best month in June, which I was actually, when I went back and did my annual, did my numbers for the year, I'm like, holy cow, this is pretty crazy. So let's take a look. The last 10, and this is just the last 10 cards that have sold. Doesn't matter. So some can be in the same transaction. The last card that sold was a 2021 Topps Heritage Minors, basically a common, Cole Henry, $1.50 shipped for a common. Then it was a 1993 Pinnacle Team 2000, Ivan Rodriguez, and that sold for $1.50 shipped. A 2020 Topps Gold Star Parallel of Max Kepler. A 2020 Panini Playbook Kalijah Lipscomb of the Kansas City Chiefs. A 2020 WWE Topps Chrome Refractor of Kane. Then I sold a lot. 2021 First Bowman Draft lot of Edwin Arroyo. A lot of 4 cards sold for $4. Number 6 was a 1991 action-packed Chris Zorich rookie card. That sold for $2. A 91 action-packed Chris Zorich sold for $2 on eBay. Last item, number 7, a Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine. So 2 of my last 10 sales were wrestling related. Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine from 1980, featuring Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan on the cover. That actually sold for $18. Let's see, card number 8. These are the last 10 items sold on eBay. A 1986 Topps number 340 Cal Ripken Jr. So basically a common card. I mean, he's a star, but it's a common. And then card number 9, 2019-20 NBA Hoops Premium Stock Silver Pulsar. Those must be on the ending soonest, because that was on. I had a couple of those on my last 10 yesterday morning. So I think those have popped up in people's searches because they're ending soon, meaning the 30-day cycle is about to renew. And this player was Rodions Kurucs of the Brooklyn Nets, and I bet I butchered that name. And then the card number 10, actually there was another Kent Bazemore sold, would have been number 11. He made the list yesterday. This is a second Kent Bazemore. Card number 10 was a 1983 Topps sticker, Franco Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that one actually sold for $2.50. So those are the last 10, and I gave you a bonus with that Kent Bazemore. The last 10 cards sold out of my eBay store, and these all sold probably within the last 8 hours. I'm not sure what the timestamp is, but yeah, last 8 to 9 hours. So that's about what I had for today. I'm going to do a little more shipping this morning, and then I've also got to bring some more cards in from the Goodwill pallet. Stay tuned. Check out my Twitter at 1MillionCubs. I will tweet out some pictures. I'm not sure when I'll do a video. Maybe tonight I'll do a video going through just a random box. I know that's popular. People like watching me dig through those boxes, so I might do that tonight. It would be before Hobby. Today's Tuesday, so I can't forget Hobby Hotline tonight at 8 p.m. Central. So if I go live, it might be in that 7 to 8 o'clock hour. So don't forget Hobby Hotline tonight, 8 p.m. Central Time. Let's see. Final chats here. Jenny says you sold some football and hoops. Have you been listing those sports, or are you doing just baseball right now for new stuff? Right now, it's just been the last 1,000 cards I bet have been baseball, with the exception of a few cards that I pulled out of the dollar box on Saturday. I listed some basketball and football, but mostly 99% of what I've listed the last 2 weeks has been baseball. Cooter says one of my employees kept an undated resignation letter in his desk for years, finally dated it and gave it to me when he retired. That's fun. That's funny. That's being prepared. That is preparation to a T. Joe Card Legends, what is up? Goodwill, check out their auctions, goodwill.com. BBC Hall of Fame, vote now. Yes, go to the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. I don't have that link handy. John, if you have that link, shoot that in the chat. And if you're unfamiliar, I did a live vote on a previous video a couple weeks ago, so you can check that out in my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, hit that like button. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. George says mine is actually due to them trying to ignore my trip home to see family and making me work special programs during that time. I told them I'd quit first. So tonight maybe I'll go live just digging through a box for an hour. And then the rest of the week, 7 a.m. Central. No show on Saturday because the Madison Card Show is this Saturday. 135 tables, sold out show, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., free admission. Register to win a bunch of prizes as well. Remember, it's going to be on 2 floors, spreading out 3 ballrooms, and I will have maps out in the lobby to kind of direct you. And there will be plenty of signage, which was lacking the last couple times. Okay, that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Tuesday. And we'll probably chat again tonight when I go live. Mark it for about 7 p.m. Central tonight. Go live going through a box from this latest Goodwill pallet. We'll see you then.